chasing bees in the garden. I'm sure it isn't wise. If he does manage to catch one, he's in for a nasty surprise. The young carefree exuberance has not been sullied yet. But from what I can see, I rather think we may be in for an expensive trip to the vet. Auto folks, Thomas Benjamin Wilde Esquire here with song number 12 of my Song a Week series. I thought I'd change things up a little bit this week and do a full-on production. Maybe this is the way forward with it, I don't know. But I did actually add in some guitar, some bass and some drums on that as well. Played the guitar myself, that one that's hanging up on the wall behind there. And the bass and the drums were actually the musicians of the Logic Pro X band. Added those in as MIDI instruments. But yes, I thought I'd change things up a little bit because I had been for a while watching our 2.5-year-old German Shepherd chasing after bees around the garden, and I've been a little bit concerned about it. But it's something we can't seem to stop him doing. But that song has been sitting there for a couple of weeks while I gathered enough footage of him actually doing it. Because it's very difficult to tell him to stop, because we have to wait for him to start doing it before we can actually stop him from doing it. And I get the feeling the only way he's going to learn is by eventually getting stung and us actually having to take him to the vets. I don't know. Is there a better way of being able to teach a dog not to chase bees and wasps? Let me know in the comments. I know there'll be lots of questions about Luca, so I'll answer those quickly now. He's 2.5 years old. We got him back in November, so we've had him for about 7 months now. And we got him as a rescue from the Dogs Trust. He had been in kennels for roughly a year and had a couple of rehomes that didn't go to plan. So we took him on. He was quite boisterous, to be polite, to start with. He is calming down now. I'm told that we actually got him. We've had German Shepherds before, but never as young. So he was about not quite 2 when we got him. And I believe that is their adolescent stage, or the velociraptor stage, as lots of people like to refer to it. My understanding is that they start to calm down after about 2.5 years. So between 2.5 and 3, they start to calm down. So we're at that stage now, and we're starting to see evidence of that gradually happening. So if you follow me on the other social media platforms, then you'll see me sharing lots and lots of pictures of Luca on there. Usually when I haven't got anything better to do, or when I need a kind of bump in the algorithms, because those kind of pictures and videos always get a lot of love on social media. So if you're interested in seeing more pictures of him, I'm putting some up on the screen now. But if you want to see more pictures, more regular pictures, make sure you're following me on places like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not so much on Twitter, I'm not so much on X these days, since he took over. I've always struggled a little bit with Twitter. Anyway, I'm not quick enough or sharp enough for it. I have to think about things, and that is kind of the point of the platform, is just to say stuff quickly and respond quickly, which I've never been that great at. So, X has always been one I've struggled with a little bit. But yeah, I digress. If you want to see more pictures of Luca, you can find pictures of him on there. We had a German Shepherd before, Suki, who unfortunately died at the age of 16 last August. So we decided to stick to the same breed as well, because we do like German Shepherds. So yeah, that's what this week's song's about. I actually recorded that with a ukulele and a microphone, and the guitar directly into the microphone as well. So my Flight ukulele, which is this one here, I played that in this song. If you're interested, in finding out more about the Soprano Flight Ukulele. There's a link to it in the description below. Great brand. This is my go-to uke that I pick up and play whenever I'm just kind of picking up to just strum things out and try and work out songs. This is the one I go to. Really nice instrument. So lots of lovely comments from the video last week, and lots of answers to my question about allotments from people. Last week I talked about the fact that we've just taken on an allotment and asked whether other places in the world other than the UK and Europe have those kind of things. By the sound of things, in the US and in Canada, at least, it's mostly community gardens and not everywhere has them. But there are different ways of kind of being able to get those kind of space. But as I'd kind of guessed, most people probably have big enough gardens over there to be able to grow stuff themselves. Maria on Patreon did confirm that for me. And she also asked what we're planning to grow on ours. Any kind of vegetables or anything that we're definitely going to grow. At the moment, we've got a few herbs up there, but we're planning to grow potatoes, tomatoes, some leafy greens like chard and spinach and that kind of thing. But we're in very early stages yet. We're still working it all out. There is a raspberry plant up there at the moment, which we're keeping. I'm going to try and cultivate that a little bit. So hopefully we'll have some raspberries. But we're going to take some chard up next week and put that in the ground. Apparently it's been quite wet this year, and the big talk on the allotment at the moment is about slugs and people for the first time ever using slug pellets. So that's going to be quite interesting. As soon as we put anything in the ground, I get the feeling it's going to be eaten by the slugs. So yeah, lots of people talking about how you can go about getting kind of into community gardens in the US. Some lovely comments on here. Zardwalk or Zardbark says, never have I been so happy about a YouTube copyright strike. This series of ditties is brilliant. Thank you very much. And lots of people talking about how lazy they are with their haircuts. So Zoso14892 says some of those photos. So last week I posted a bunch of photographs from when I was younger, back in the late 90s and early noughties. Some of those photos screamed early mid noughties Britain for sure. It really did. It was a time and a look, wasn't it? And also asked how much maintenance did the mohawks take. I was never brave enough to get one. I was quite lazy with it. Had to shave the sides quite regularly if I wanted to actually make it look proper. And actually, I used to use some quite intense hairspray and gel with sugar in it and various other things that I shouldn't really have put in my hair. And quite often that would keep it in for a few days. So if I fully spiked it up, it would stay spiked up for a few days regardless of how I slept. There was one point when I was younger, I was doing the single spikes, and I put so much crap in my hair at one point that I actually pulled a clump of my hair out while I was styling it one day and realised it was probably time to shave it off. And that was what ended the Mohican days. Mark Shepherd 8768 says, was the clean shaven photo shoot the one that gave inspiration to the final verse of Ode to My Facial Hair? So yeah, I've got a song on my last album called Ode to My Facial Hair, and the last verse refers to my partner not particularly liking it. It wasn't that particular time because I was doing it for a purpose at that point, but there have been other times where I've shaved the beard off and she's come into the room and gone, oh, it's you. Yeah, my face is quite unrecognisable without this beard. I still haven't made it to the hairdressers yet. I still haven't made it over to the barbers yet. I'm going to be doing it tomorrow. I tried to book in today and I'm going to be heading over tomorrow. Jeeves Barbers in Bedford. They're great. Dan Forbes 3573 says, hey, would you ever shave your beard off if you were offered next week's Euro Millions? Yes, absolutely. It grows back pretty quickly. You know, I'm always open to kind of charity things and things like that. It's become so much part of the look now, though. If I shaved it off, people wouldn't recognise me, which might be a good thing. But yeah, I would shave it off for Euro Millions, absolutely. Aaron Bradford 7772 says you've got a strong Captain Haddock vibe going with that hair. It's very true, very true. Iconic Captain Haddock. So Sodor Flubs 5000 asks, just wondering what the difference is between a ukulele, banjo, and banjolele. Okay. So actually there is a reply underneath this which is actually fairly extensive, and so J Pastel Yellow has actually responded under there. I'll just read that out. A ukulele is a 4-string, rather small instrument, but is roughly the same way as an acoustic guitar. That is to say, basically just a wooden box. A banjo is either a 4 or 5-string instrument, which is larger and built kind of like a drum, with a head stretched across a round frame. A banjolele is a fusion of the two, built like a banjo, but with the size and tuning of a ukulele. It's meant to sound like a banjo and is usually played by people who can only play the ukulele. Yeah, it's true. I'm not going to deny that. Just to add some variety to your playing and sound. So I think that's an excellent explanation there. I just thought I'd read that one out. But that's a great explanation of the differences between the three. And so that's it for the questions for this week. Make sure you keep them coming, folks. Just pop them below this video, and next week I will answer any questions that I'm given in the following video, in next week's video. So yeah, do make sure those questions keep coming. If you are interested in seeing these videos before anybody else, you can come and join my Patreon community, where you'll be able to access all kinds of exclusive materials, including these videos first. But other things like exclusive behind the scenes, access to demo recordings of songs, new merch first looks, live streams from shows that I'm playing here in the UK, and also exclusive patron-only Zoom live streams where I just sing some covers and chat to you all. It'd be lovely to see some more people joining that, so you can join for as little as £3 a month and access all kinds of exclusive materials. Details of that can be found in the description below. So heads up for where I'm going to be over the next couple of months. On the 12th of June, I will be at Hootenanny in Brixton in London with the marvellous Mr. Tom Carradine. We'll be doing our Two Tom show there. That should be really good fun. It'd be lovely to see you there. On the 15th of June, I'll be at Parafest in North Wales with my band, The Fancy Chaps. It's a festival you can fly at. So it's a paragliding festival with music. So I'm quite excited to see what that's going to look like. On the 7th of July, I will be at the Dorothy Pax in Sheffield doing a solo show with Chris Taverner. We've played there a couple of times before. It would be lovely to see some of you there. And on the 20th of July, I'll be at Bedfringe with my band, The Fancy Chaps. Details for all of those shows, Bedfringe in Bedford, that's why it's called Bedfringe. But details for all of those shows can be found through the link in the description to my website. So that's about it for this week, folks. Thank you very much for your comments. Thank you very much for your questions. If you've got any more questions that you want answered, make sure you post them. Post them in the comments below the video, and I will strive to answer them next week. If you've got suggestions on subjects that you'd like to hear me talking about in these videos, make those in the comments as well. I'm always open. I've got space to fill, so let me know what you want me to tell you about next. I'll hopefully see some of you out and about over the next couple of weeks. And until next time, stay safe and toodle pip.